Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, a new constable takes office in Goliad. His history with the position, that's just ahead. And a local mother takes a hiatus from a business she opened to honor her son. Her plans for the future, that's coming up. Plus, wildfires erupt over the weekend in the Carolinas. The latest as crews continue to battle the blazes.
And tonight we're going to have an upper level low pressure system coming off the mountains, and that's going to send a line of strong thunderstorms through parts of the state. But for us, it's going to be bringing us some breezy winds and some more nice spring weather. All that coming up.
And the city of Victoria gets to celebrate one of their own. Coming up in sports, see who celebrated their 60th birthday this week in the Crossroads.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Monday.
That's right. Happy Monday. Happy beginning of a brand new week and also a brand new month. It's March.
That's right. And we've got to get our Kleenex and everything on standby because the pollen is hitting. I think it's hitting everyone really hard.
Right.
I just kind of recovered from my own episode of allergies.
That's right. She had that all week last week. She was absolutely suffering, and I am now. Yeah, now it's my turn. If you haven't noticed, all morning long I have been very stuffy. If I were you, I would go ahead and take that allergy pill. We're going to look at the pollen statistics here later on Sunrise, because right now, if you're tuning in with us this morning, starting out the day in Victoria, it's real nice out there. 64 degrees, maybe just like a tad bit cool, but dew point 1 degree off is definitely making it feel humid out there. That's at 96% thanks to the humidity coming out of the Gulf. But winds right now are sustained at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Gusts are reported at 20 at times. That's providing us with a little bit of mixing, so no need to worry about fog this morning, and definitely no need to worry about a jacket. You can see all of us in South Texas starting out the day a little bit warm in the 60s, even some of the 70s. North Texas is a little bit cool, 30s and 40s and 50s up there, but all of us in the Crossroads, we're all generally in the 60s this morning, all the way between the low, mid, and upper 60s. Even got a 70 being reported in Refugia right now. Definitely a bit of a warm morning out there as well, but like I said, winds right now sustained between 5 to 10 miles an hour coming out of the Gulf at about southeast right now, but they will be picking up later today. We'll look at that later on Sunrise. Why are those winds picking up? Well, if we look at satellite, you can see over us right now, it's pretty cloudy, but as we look west, we have an upper level low system that will come off the mountains, and that will bring us those breezy winds. We'll look at that later on Sunrise, because if you send your kiddos out the door this morning for school, no need for a jacket, and definitely no need one for this afternoon. We're going to be back in the 70s. We'll look at all those details coming up next.
On Friday, we learned of an investigation happening at Faith Academy. Faith Academy is investigating reports of a volunteer inappropriately touching a child. The school says the volunteer admitted to touching the child after a student reported the incident. Faith Family Church, the Victoria Police Department, and Child Protective Services are investigating this open case. 25 News Now reached out to Faith Family Church for further comment, and we're waiting for a response. Goliad County Commissioners appointed a new Precinct 1 constable. Commissioners swore in Goliad native Michael De La Garza Friday morning. Both of the county's constable positions are now filled. At one point, there were concerns the position would be eliminated. De La Garza says he's looking forward to serving the county he's always called home.
My goals is just to protect the public and work close with the JP's office and assist the sheriff's office when they need help. Do traffic control.
De La Garza has previously served as constable in Goliad County. He retired 5 years ago after serving 20 years in the role. State Representative for District 30, A.J. Louderback, says he supports the Texas House's education package. In a statement, Louderback says families deserve the ability to choose the education path that best serves them, and public education must be better funded. The House education package includes $8 billion in new funding for public education, eliminating the STAR test, and over $750 million for raising teacher pay. A mother's mission to honor her deceased child takes a hiatus. Darlene Chavez, founder of Kevin's Closet, lost her son Kevin in 2016. He died at 11 years old after a hit-and-run incident in Bloomington while Kevin was walking to school. Chavez is stepping away from the store to focus on her own and her family's well-being. She says the store has changed over time, with more people purchasing shoe charms and clothes. Chavez wants to take a break until she can open a proper discount clothing store. The time, effort, and money required took its toll, and now she's looking for a reset before continuing.
He always talked about owning his own store. You know, he said, when I grow up, I'm going to have my own store. And so it's a way of giving him what he said he was going to have. You know, at the right time, the right place, then I'll reopen as the way it should be.
Bloomington High School honored Kevin last year, marking the year he would have graduated. There still haven't been any arrests. Kevin was hit along Highway 185 while walking to school in Bloomington. Any information regarding this case can be reported to Victoria Crime Stoppers. Just call 361-572-4200. Now to the emergency in the Carolinas. Evacuations ordered with nearly 200 wildfires breaking out, but overnight, some encouraging news.
This morning, a wildfire emergency in the southeast. Firefighters battling at least 175 wildfires across South and North Carolina, prompting evacuation orders in both states.
Oh, you could smell the smoke all the way in Columbus.
One of the biggest fires threatening communities near Myrtle Beach. South Carolina National Guard deploying 2 Black Hawk helicopters to help fight the flames. After doubling in size over the weekend, the fire near Myrtle Beach was 30% contained overnight, allowing some residents to return.
This whole area was on fire.
Whole area, yes.
Wow.
And then it came up to the row of trees here, and that's when I abandoned my hose.
Dry and windy conditions are fueling the fast-moving wildfires, as much of the southeast is in moderate drought.
So that wind is what started it, and start one fire and just kept going and going and going, just catching everywhere, like all the woods behind us.
And how close did you see those flames? How
right
close
here, right there, right there. See right there?
Officials in the fire zone warn the dry conditions will remain today before much-needed rain tomorrow and Wednesday. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says vaccination is a personal decision that can protect individuals and communities. Kennedy wrote an opinion piece for Fox News on Sunday. His comments come amid a measles outbreak across the state and 8 other states. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported 164 cases as of last Thursday. While Kennedy did not explicitly recommend people get a measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, he did say that the measles outbreak was a call to action for people to reaffirm their commitment to public health. Victoria County Commissioners meet at 10 a.m. today. They're scheduled to hear a report from the County Public Health Department, and it's going to be about the measles outbreak across the state. They will also consider approving a contract for psychoeducational/counseling services between Victoria County and Hope of South Texas Incorporated Hope Child Advocacy Center for Youth, placed at the Victoria County Juvenile Justice Center. They meet on the second floor of the county courthouse at 115 North Bridge Street in room 241. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:38. I was just looking at our clock up here. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. We take a look at a neighborhood cleanup.
European leaders meet for an emergency summit over Ukraine. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with details following the heated exchange in the Oval Office.
And also coming up next after the break, in the short-term forecast for today, it's going to be another beautiful spring-like day all across beautiful Texas. So coming up next, I'll tell you just how nice I think it'll be near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads. You're looking live in cloudy Cuero. You can see just how cloudy it is over us right now, all thanks to that sun that's starting to come up in the sky, exposing our cloud cover. And with the clouds over us right now and all night long, we're a little bit warm out there this morning in Cuero, starting out at 68 degrees for the air temperature. Dew point is 3 degrees off right now. It has actually dropped a little bit thanks to the winds coming out of the Gulf. But now, right now, the humidity is down to 91%. Not really enough to see any fog, so no need to worry about that for any of us this morning. All that thanks to that wind coming through, bringing us some mixing in the atmosphere. But for today, whatever clouds are out there right now, you just saw on the camera, it's pretty cloudy. Well, it's going to stay like that all day long. Today, we're looking for more mostly cloudy to cloudy skies all day long with maybe just a couple breaks in the clouds. Otherwise, you will also see on your future clouds and radar a little bit of light green. That's going to be a 10% chance of a very low 10% chance of maybe some sprinkles or drizzle this afternoon, maybe the late morning as well. And with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and say you don't need your umbrella for today because whatever does fall through the air in terms of precipitation, it's going to be really, really light and also lasting all of maybe 30 seconds or a minute. As we go all the way into tonight, we're looking for more more clouds, and that's going to keep our low temperatures tonight in the upper 60s. But under the clouds today, we're looking for high temperatures generally in the mid and upper 70s. I'm thinking about 79 here in Victoria, 78 in Cuero, and 77 for the high today in Port Lavaca. Before, like I said, overnight tonight under the clouds and more breezy Gulf winds, looking for low temperatures only dropping into the upper 60s. However, today it is going to be a bit of a breezy Gulf wind. Today we're looking for wind gusts as high as 25 to 30 miles an hour at times. And you can see right here as we go into tonight, here is 8, 9, 10, midnight. You can see our winds will continue gusting up to 30 miles an hour at times coming out of the Gulf, and it will continue all the way through the morning and actually pick up as we go into tomorrow afternoon. Why is that? Well, we're going to have a real weak front passing through us at around 10 or 11 a.m., and that's going to bring wind gusts tomorrow up to 40 miles an hour at times. So if you have any lightweight plants, I'd go ahead and bring that inside and keep it inside for the rest of this week. We're going to have more breezy days. We'll look at that here in a second, because the breezy winds, well, it's going to bring us a bit of pollen. We have some very high tree pollen out there and high grass pollen. And if you haven't noticed, I've had the sniffles all morning, so go ahead and take that allergy pill. But that is going to lead us to today's weather poll. Today I ask you, has high pollen affected your allergies over the last few days? It looks like most of y'all are saying yes, you cannot stop sneezing. And you're probably just like me. But thank y'all so much for taking part in our weather poll for today. For the rest of this week, we are expecting a little bit more pollen thanks to more breezy southerly winds, kind of shifting out of the north at times with the help of a couple fronts. And we'll look at all that and more coming up next.
This past weekend, the Crossroads celebrated Victoria native Ron Gant, who had his 60th birthday here. Gant, who played 16 years in the MLB and is currently a TV host for Good Day Atlanta. 25 News Now Don Brubaker caught up with Gant to receive a word.
Growing up here in Victoria, it's such a hard-working city. You have to be disciplined, one. I learned that right away. I apply everything that I learned growing up from Victoria into that. And that's a lot of the reason why I've been so successful in a lot of the things I've done in life so far.
Yeah, just an overall great conversation. Good to know about the impact that the city of Victoria has done for Gant and other people. But make sure you see this full story with Ron Gant on our YouTube page, Crossroads Today, and in our sports section on our website. And the recognitions continue to pour out to our Lady Gobblers, fresh off their first ever appearance in the state tournament. And one of the shining stars in that game was senior forward Arissa Carbonera. She had 15 points in the state championship game, which led her to being named in the UIL 4A Division II Girls Basketball State All-Tournament team. Big congratulations to Arissa and the Cuero Lady Gobblers. But that does it for your 25 News Now Sports. Until next time, I'm Ray Robinson.
Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus, stream our daily newscast, and much more using your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. This morning, fallout continues over President Zelensky's meeting with President Trump in the Oval Office. Ukraine's president meeting with European leaders in London over the weekend.
This morning, world leaders standing behind Ukraine and promising to do more to help the nation. European leaders meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky over the weekend for a high-stakes emergency summit on Ukraine.
Can you patch things up with Donald Trump?
The U.S. notably absent following Zelensky's fiery Oval Office meeting with President Trump and Vice President Vance on Friday.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
The British Prime Minister saying Europe must do the heavy lifting when it comes to securing peace in Ukraine and providing military aid, but also saying Europe needs U.S. support to prevent Russia from attacking Ukraine again.
The UK is prepared to back this with boots on the ground and planes in the air. Together with others, Europe must do the heavy lifting. But to support peace in our continent and to succeed, this effort must have strong U.S. backing.
It was all smiles and handshakes when Zelensky met with King Charles. However, in Washington, reaction was mixed, mostly along party lines.
Well, something has to change. Either he needs to come to his senses and come back to the table in gratitude, or someone else needs to lead the country to do that.
The back half of that meeting ended up just being the Kremlin literally driving the message of the White House. It is a sad day in America when we are getting closer and closer to Russia, a brutal dictatorship, and we are getting further and further away from democratic allies.
Meanwhile, a top spokesperson for the Kremlin praised the Trump administration's foreign policy for being largely aligned with Russia's vision. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code. It's right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, Do you support Europe's assistance for Ukraine now that U.S. demands have changed? All right, 86% of you say yes, and 14% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. The Bloomington Better Together group held a community cleanup event for the 4th year. This time over 40 volunteers went out to houses to pick up trash from the curb and deliver that trash to the dump yard on Black Bayou Street. Many participants say it meant so much to see the amount of volunteers gathered to help clean the town. They also say they hope the event becomes larger in the future as they look to make significant changes to the community.
I'm hoping that eventually the folks will see that we want to clean it up, and they'll start kind of taking that on their own.
Organizer Kim McGill says longtime Bloomington residents want to return to the community they grew up in, and events like this are how they can bring that atmosphere back.
When you're from Bloomington, you have that heart and the pride of your community. It means a lot that many people come out here because we want to have Bloomington nice. We want it to look nice.
Cleanup efforts will continue in the fall with a Placido cleanup event. To volunteer, contact the county judge's office to be added to a list. And the time is now 6:47 on our Monday morning, still to come on Sunrise. The Pope is in a stable condition days after he suffered from a sudden respiratory episode. Okay, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Hector. Happy 20th birthday to my son Hector from your parents, Hector and Norma.
Well, happy birthday, Hector. And half of her heart may be in Havana today, but that's okay because she's celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday to Camila Cabello. She's turning 28.
Happy birthday to Hugar. Happy birthday, Hugar, from the coolest dude you know. Take chances.
Happy birthday, Hugar. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, just head on over to crossroadstoday.com. Click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, the time is just about 6:48 on our Monday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
That's right, happy birthday. And if you celebrated over the weekend, happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all just saw that 7-day forecast a few moments ago, and you saw a couple cold fronts coming away, but I'm here to tell you on your Marvelous Monday, both of the fronts that are coming our way over the next several days, they're going to be really weak and only dropping our high temperatures just a few degrees. We're actually going to stay at the 70s for the next several days, if you believe that. We're going to look at that here in just a second, because what's going to go on for the rest of this week, we're going to have a couple upper-level low pressure systems that will come off the mountains, and that will send a line of thunderstorms throughout the state. You can see system number 1 coming off the mountains tonight, going into tomorrow, Tuesday, and that's going to send a weak front, like I said, throughout the state tomorrow. It will pass the crossroads. We'll look at that in a second. But it will also, like I said, along that edge of that front, it's going to send a line of strong to severe thunderstorms all across the state going into Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi, where they actually have a level 2 out of 5 slight risk over the Dallas-Fort Worth metro all the way up into Oklahoma City. You can see here in the crossroads, we don't have to worry about anything. And the same thing for Tuesday as well, for your day tomorrow. You can see we have a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk over parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi, where they are going to be expecting possibly some isolated strong tornadoes and some large hail over there. So if you have any family or friends over there in that area, let them know they got some strong weather coming their way over the next 24 hours. But for us in the crossroads, you can see no need to worry about any kind of severe weather. If anything, we might have a 20 to 30% chance to maybe see 1 or 2 of the isolated showers to kind of be isolated skirting past our northern counties. But other than that, after that system passes through at around 10 or 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're looking at lots more sunny skies, and that will continue for the next several days. Lots of sunshine all the way up until this weekend. We're going to have another low system that will come off the mountains, bringing us another weak front, dropping us right back into the 70s for next week. And we'll look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
The Vatican says Pope Francis is in a stable condition days after he suffered from a sudden respiratory episode. While there are currently no direct impacts to the Pope's health from the respiratory episode, doctors are continuing to guard the Pope's prognosis. Vatican sources say it's unclear how much longer Francis will remain in the hospital. In a new update on Monday morning, this morning, the Vatican says the Pope rested well throughout the night. On Saturday, he was able to move and walk, and sometimes with assistance was able to eat solid food. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says his country is ready to sign a rare minerals deal with the United States. Zelensky made his comments to reporters in London on Sunday. He said he was ready to sign the deal last Friday, but his meeting with President Trump and Vice President Vance in the Oval Office turned heated, and Zelensky was told to leave the White House. The Ukrainian president called the U.S. a strategic partner and that it would not benefit anyone other than Russia if U.S. assistance were to stop. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Tariffs are set to take place within a couple of hours. We have the latest. Many mainstream economists say the cost of goods like cars, groceries, and shoes and electronics could go up soon. The Commerce Secretary says new tariffs are on track to begin around midnight Eastern time tonight. He says a 10% hike on Chinese imports is on the table, on top of last month's increase. Executive orders also call for tariffs on most Canadian and all Mexican imported goods worth more than $800. The Secretary says the percentages of those duties are unclear for now. A magnitude 3.9 earthquake struck the San Fernando Valley in California late Sunday night. The United States Geological Survey says residents in and around LA felt the impact. The quake was centered a little over a mile east-southeast of North Hollywood. It came just hours after celebrities gathered for the Oscars ceremony. There were no immediate reports of damage or injuries. An Industrial High School student made history, claiming back-to-back titles as the UIL Film State Champion. This time, Isaiah Reyes collaborated with fellow student Celestia Taylor, who brought her talents to story development and costume design. Celestia knows her way around the state finals too. Last year, she collaborated with Cade Crisp, who scored a 4th place finish in digital animation. Together, they proved once again that Industrial High School is a force to be reckoned with in the world of student filmmaking. 1 year ago, a flock of wildfires spread across the Panhandle, killing 3 people and more than 15,000 head of cattle. The town of Canadian is determined to move past the deadly fire, but they are also reminded daily another catastrophe is possible. You can read the story by the Texas Tribune on crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, or Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And I forgot to mention, yesterday we celebrated Texas Independence Day when Texas officially declared its independence from Mexico. So that's a big holiday, especially for South Texas, considering all the history here. Parker, how is it looking out there?
Well, I can safely say I did a little bit of celebrating for your Texas Independence Day yesterday. I got outside and enjoyed the beautiful weather, and I hope y'all are going to be doing the same, because right now in Port Lavaca, it's a nice morning out there, starting out the day at 68 degrees. Not too bad if you ask me. 2 point though, that's matching the temperature, bringing us a high humidity, which is pretty normal on the coast. However, we do have a little bit of a wind coming out of the southeast right now, and that is going to provide us with a little bit of mixing, so I don't think y'all need to worry about any fog this morning. But if y'all are going to be going fishing today, fishers and mariners, I want to let y'all know we are expecting a bit of a breezy day today with wind gusts as high as 25, maybe even 30 knots at times, bringing your slightly choppy waves 1 to 3 feet high. But waters today, they're starting to warm back up into the 70s. You know what else is back in the 70s? Our air temperatures today in Port Lavaca, we're looking for a beautiful day. A high of 77 this afternoon, under mostly cloudy to cloudy skies all day long. Same thing in Victoria for the cloud cover, but a little bit warmer. They get a high of 79 for today. A little bit cooler in Cuero. They get a high of 78 for today. And if you're a fan of all of that, well, great news for you. The sun is coming back out tomorrow, and we're going to have lots more beautiful spring-like 70s and 80s for the rest of this week. And also, you'll see a few breezy days scattered in there. So if you have any lightweight plants, I might go ahead and bring those inside. And also take an allergy pill. Pollen is high if you haven't noticed.
I'm going to get my bike service. Time to go bike riding this week.
Good idea. Great week to do that.
Nice week. All right. Well, thank y'all for being with us this Monday morning. Be sure to join Shauna Dawn, Mike Clovio, and Max tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Happy Monday.